But you know, we are kind of getting off. We were talking about Antifa, and I really want to focus on this because 5 days to an election.
Yes.
Can't believe it.
I have to wonder if like this next part is a joke, okay? Because I know people are going to freak out.
I'm freaking out.
That a bunch of Trump supporters dressed up like Antifa, like this is how you get Trump elected in PA. I'm joking, okay? The point is though, Donald Trump is doing rally in Pennsylvania. Vote for me. And he's going, suburban women, love me. Mm-hmm. You have to love me. I've done so much for you. It's actually funny. They criticize him for it, but he's half joking. Like he really does need their vote, but he's just like, you know, hamming it up. But there's only so much rallies can do. You got Western Pennsylvania, fracking country. Joe Biden sealed the deal on that when he was like, he's like, we're going to transition out of oil. Yes. And then the moderator's like, why would you do that? Like almost like she was face palming that he said it, not that he would actually want to do it.
She goes, why would you say that?
Exactly. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
But how do you get Eastern Pennsylvania? Riots erupt in Philadelphia 3 nights in a row. People are looting, Five Below, Walmart. They're like, you see the video where the cars are just like crashing into each other and like TVs are flying through the air. Yeah. It's like, so they're in the parking lot of the Walmart and people are just running away with stuff. And then like someone's got like a TV in the middle of the road, a car hits it, it just flips over the car and they're like crashing into each other. It was nuts.
Yeah. And even a guy like loaded up his truck full of looted material and then he got robbed. For his car full of looted.
They're looting the looters.
Yeah. Yes. And apparently they were shooting each other too. Whoa, and fighting over it. Yeah, I think Shelby and Elijah were there with shots fired. And so, it's just criminals doing criminal stuff.
In DC, is it federal? So it's federal, right? Are they sending out the feds to take care of that?
Dude, if you get activist organizations warn protesters, you get arrested protesting in DC, those are federal charges. They're very, very hard to beat. And the penalties are severe, whereas city jurisdictions, sometimes you get a slap on the wrist. Not the feds. They prosecute.
What is the name of that legal fund that's always bailing out those Antifa guys? They were down on the scene last night too, and I think that's what happened. They saw me streaming the Antifa guys because I was streaming the cops and stuff, but then I saw the legal aid, hacks.
National Lawyers Guild.
That's it, National Lawyers Guild.
Progressive organization.
They were on the ground there, and that's part of the support ecosystem that enables people to go to jail and have lawyers and bail, and that way they can get arrested with impunity.
I'll tell you what, man. During Occupy, things were different, and there's a weird authoritarian switch that occurred. I remember I was on, I can't remember what street it was, maybe like 12th or something. It was in New York. It was like the Lower East Side, and there was a National Lawyers Guild lawyer who had just witnessed an arrest. We were standing on the sidewalk, and he starts. I'm standing here on the corner, and he starts walking through the crosswalk, not jaywalking, and he's on his phone. And he's looking at cops as they're making an arrest, and he starts reporting to his colleagues, and a bunch of cops run up and grab him and throw him against a car. His phone goes flying, and I'm filming. I'm like, whoa, what the? And then he's like, what are you doing? I'm a lawyer. And they were like, shut up. And they cuff him, they arrest him. And then I actually had a phone call like, what happened? Why did they arrest him? Like, he literally wasn't doing anything, man. It was a lawyer on this. So I see things like that. I've seen things where the National Lawyers Guild has done good in stopping things like this. But something changed. And I remember when I was in Boston, it was 2018, and there was Antifa and there were right-wing protesters. The Antifa guys had clubs. They were wearing black masks, full blackout gear with clubs and bats. And there was the National Lawyers Guild standing at their side. And then across from them was a bunch of guys with like Pepe signs and shields. And I asked the National Lawyers Guild, I was like, hey, how come you guys are only on one side? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, why aren't you guys observing for those guys? And they were like, I don't understand. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I tweeted about it, and then a bunch of lefties, they were like, Tim Pool's defending the fascists. And I'm like, the National Lawyers Guild said their mission was to observe the police, not counter protests. Right. I thought they were there to make sure that people were peacefully, legally allowed to protest, and that includes the left and the right. No, it wasn't. It was about supporting progressive causes. And now that the conflict isn't about police versus protester, it's like left and right tribe or whatever. National Lawyers Guild is overtly tribalist and will not help you in defending your rights. They won't, like, was anyone there when you were getting attacked? Any of these MLG guys?
No, nobody.
They're not gonna-
Luckily, the police were there though.
Because I'd imagine they're going to be like, oh, we're not going to film this. We don't observe this because then we got to testify against them.
Right. There were a number of people filming and taking pictures. I haven't seen any of them surface just yet, and I would like to see them. I was standing there surrounded by like 30 people. Just like that would probably be a good pick. I'd like to see it. So if you were that guy last night, send it out. Hit me up on Twitter, Jack Murphy Live, or on my YouTube channel, Jack Murphy Live. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys there as well.
Excellent.
So you think the riots are going to... Well, so as I was saying about Pennsylvania, I don't know exactly if you can turn a city red. You know, I don't know what would make something like that happen. But I imagine, I don't know if you remember that video where the Christopher Columbus statue was getting attacked. And so all of these like middle-aged and younger dudes, like union guys, came out and surrounded it and got physical, like shoving Antifa. Some guys had bats, some guys had guns, and they were like, get out of here. Then the city came and took the statue away anyway. I can only imagine. These are probably Union Democrat guys in Philadelphia, 80% Democrat city. Now they're taking your statue down. You tried to defend. Now they're rioting, and it's not just in like downtown. I think they call it Center City. It's spread around all over the place, and the videos are nuts. I got to imagine there's a certain part of these like regular working class union guys who are Democrats who are probably going, I've had enough of this man, and I wonder if it's gonna be a big push for Trump.
I mean, they did make a big part up of the 9 million Democrats as deplorable voters in 2016. I'm hoping that trend is going to continue. It's very clear to see that the Republican Party is becoming sort of the party of men,
Right.
And the Democratic Party is
Hold
becoming
on.
the party of women and minorities.
I gotta stop you there though. There's something really interesting I saw. I was looking at early voting data in I think it was Michigan. The most of the votes that have come in so far early in absentee lean GOP. The plurality is GOP voters and women.
Nice.
That was weird to me. I was like, wait. The majority of returned ballots and early voting came from women, and it was a plurality was women. No, a majority, and then the plurality was Republicans, meaning there's an uptick in Republican women who are voting.
Awesome.
And they're helping get that push. So that's
I've always said that it's the party of masculine men and the women who love them. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's
true.
You got to have that's that caveat, right?
Dude, how weird is it that that's true? That so millennial women are like 70% Democrat. That's Pew Research. 68% of millennial women are Democrats, and then among men, it's slightly conservative but pretty even.
Yeah, well, that's by design. So in the late 60s, the Democrats decided to jettison the white working male from their efforts in terms of recruiting people. And they specifically set out a strategy to court the disaffected. They used words that we wouldn't use today about homosexual people and about minority folks and about just all of the other factions.
Who was the dude who ran against Nixon in his reelection? McGovern, and he got obliterated.
Yeah.
He was that guy who wanted to do the coalition of progressives, of like white college educated elites and minorities, and he got annihilated in a 49 state landslide. Is that going to happen?
Man, that would be
it's
amazing,
too close. Biden's
but I
pulling too well.
doubt it. I don't really know what's going to happen. In fact, I got to admit, I'm getting a little jittery. I mean, either way, everything will be,
You said Nixon and McGovern, is that right? He also
Yeah.
did a 49, and so did Reagan. He
And
had a
Reagan
49.
did.
Okay.
And I think Reagan was for similar reasons too. They tried doing a big progressive push, and regular people recoiled.
That's what Biden's doing. It's so
Mondale.
cringy.
Here's the crazy thing.
Mondale.
We're looking at early voting data, right? And it's like right now at nationally, I think it's like 4 points up Democrat. What if those Democrat voted Republican? You know what I mean? It's probably wishful thinking to be like, oh, the polls are wrong and the Democrats are actually voting for Republicans. No. Democrats are probably up. We expected this. And Republicans, surprisingly, are doing really well in Ohio and Wisconsin and Michigan. They're leading in those three states. So I think there's a scenario where, could you imagine if we do 269 to 269 Biden in the Electoral College?
Oh my gosh.
It would go to House delegations. Trump would win. It's not going to be this hardcore deadlock, but that would be so on point for 2020. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, either way, unless it's a clear landslide in either direction, it's going to feel like 269 to 269 the way it's going to be drawn out. I think we all need to prepare for that. Like, save your adrenal system, save your dopamine surges, save your stressing out. I really don't think that there's going to be like a decisive factor on the 3rd, although I would greatly welcome it in our favor.
Seriously.
We're going to have this big election night party. So
What?
yeah, we still got,
What?
and what we're going to do is we're just going to stream the whole night. And people are going to come in and out. Whoever wants to hop on the stream and be like, yo, what's going on? And I'll probably be downstairs hanging out with people. I'll come up periodically and we'll have a bunch of people do that. But I'm wondering, like, at what point do we turn the stream off? Because it's going to be like 4 a.m. and they're going to be like, we have no idea what happened.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. is
Yeah, I think so.
when they end everything?
No, that should be
No,
when
but
we
there's not
stop.
going to be results because
That's okay.
I think Pennsylvania is not doing their results until the 10th or whatever.
Yeah, and I found out. So I have someone who voted in Colorado. And so they got their ballot back and they're like, something's wrong with your signature. All right, cool. I'm glad you're checking out my signature. You can vote again on the 12th. Like you can just go
Wait,
in
what?
until the 12th. Remember? We were
You can
talking
go
about this?
in on the 12th?
So you can go on the 12th and they'll set your signature correct as late as the 12th of November. And I was like, there's no way this is going to be done by November.
Well,
3rd.
unless like they can map out. So a lot of people are saying, and I literally just said it, Pennsylvania is not going to know their results until the 10th or whatever because of late ballots. But they can actually look at registered voters and likely voters. They can model out and be like, there's literally no way any amount of votes will change the results of this county. They always do that.
Yeah,
So
that's what happens every time.
Exactly. We see the 89. There's some places where it's like 37 precincts reporting landslide because it's a guarantee. There's no amount of votes they could get with the remaining precincts to win.
Right.
So we might actually just see that. We might on election night it might be landslide Joe Biden.
That's not why I was.
Just my.
I know.
not why I was
I
crossing
saw
my
you
fingers.
cross your fingers. So I said Biden instead.
That'd be cool. I would welcome a landslide.
I would too.
Just to get it over with. I don't want.
fair.
I don't want to sit around for 2 weeks. Not for Biden,
Dude,
obviously.
did you-
I just want
this
want
is-
it to end on the 3rd so we can move on.
Yeah, it's not. It's not going to end, man. Like, so the media has become addicted to culture war. Everyone has, and when you have billion-dollar corporations that are like, what do we do when the orange man is gone? They're going to start looking for villains to write about.
It'll be Kanye.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah, yep, and Joe Rogan for sure, and comedians. And what did Robert Reich say? Truth and Reconciliation Commissions.
Dude, we got to have him on the show or
No,
something. That
I mean,
guy's-
well, I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. Sure, like I'm willing to have anybody on. Well, not anybody. Someone asked me on Twitter, like, are there limits? And I was like, yeah, like physical safety and people have to be relevant to the conversation. So he is. Sure, I'd have him on. But he's like Truth and
I know,
Reconciliation.
it's so weird.
Yeah, you know what they're gonna do is they're gonna no platform, deplatform, and cancel people. So we all end up with no technology, no bank accounts. Like, oh, nobody wants to work with you because you're one of those.
I heard a very scary bit of speculation that the reason that they selected Kamala Harris was so that she could be the
Kamala.
chief. Sorry, what else? Kay Harris.
Kay Harris. Miss Harris.
So that she could be the prosecutor in chief of the Truth and Reconciliation effort.
I don't
Which
know,
actually
man.
makes pretty good sense. I mean,
She's
if there's
awful.
one thing she can do, right?
So they're gonna like rendition people. Mm-hmm. It's like
yeah, why not?
That
Dude,
makes me angry. That
someone-
makes me want to riot. Not much stuff makes me want to riot.
Have you guys have all seen V for Vendetta?
Yeah.
You know the scene where Creedy comes in and knocks out Stephen Fry, and then he like drags him away. Like it would be fun to make like a GIF where it's Kamala Harris as Creedy, and then like Stephen Fry's Alex Jones. He gets black bagged and like taken away. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.